What is going on, everybody? Welcome into another edition of the Daily Energy Newsbeat Stand-Up here on this gorgeous Monday, July 10th, 2023. As always, I'm your humble correspondent, Michael Tanner, coming to you from an undisclosed location here in Dallas, Texas, joined by the executive producer of the show, the purveyor of the show, and the director and publisher of the world's greatest website, EnergyNewsbeat.com, Stuart Turley. My man, how we doing today?
Yeah, it's a beautiful day in the neighborhood, and I got to talk to HR. Somebody called us and said, we got to have a white shirt on for our podcast listeners.
Well, we're coming down from above to deliver you guys the all-seeing news. But we have an absolutely banger show lined up for you. Packed menu. Stu's done a great job of keeping this keeping Energy Newsbeat up to speed this weekend. First, Venezuela looks to pay down $20 billion in U.S. debt with oil experts. Why is there an estimated $6 price difference? Stu will dive into some interesting numbers on what Venezuela is looking to do next. This is from Energy Newsbeat's own David Blackmon. A backlash against net zero policies is finally beginning to shape. That's a Substack article from our favorite random guy on Substack. Next up, new Iceland tech shakes up global geothermal energy. You know, here at Energy Newsbeat, we love geothermal. Highly interested to see what's coming out of Iceland. Next up, Toyota's solid-state battery breakthrough technology will reduce cost and size by 50%. You're going to have to convince me of that. I'm skeptical just on the headline, but Stu will convince us otherwise. And then finally, we'll check in the Gulf of Mexico, where we have at least 2 dead on that Pemex oil platform file. Stu will dive in to the fallout and get us up to speed on what we know today. He'll toss it over to me. I'll cover, really what happened, really on Friday, but also last week in oil. We're up 3% to a 9-week high, mainly on some supply concerns. I'll jump into maybe where I see and where Stu and I see oil prices and natural gas prices moving this week, and then we'll let you go on get out of here. Start your Monday. We really hope there's not too many meetings, but I have a feeling you guys are about to get pounded with meetings, so please stand strong. We'll get you here, we'll get you prepped with the news, and then we'll get you on your way. Before we do all that, guys, remember, all the stories we are about to read and go over our courtesy world's greatest website, EnergyNewsbeat.com. You can check them all out in the description below. Team does a great job of curating that to make sure all of the stories are in there. You can check out the timestamps below if you want to go ahead and jump ahead and figure out what David Blackmon's saying. You can go ahead and do that right now. Dashboard.energynewsbeat.com, the best place for all your data and news combo. We are hard at work at pushing V2, guys. So remember, it's going behind a paywall, so hit the dashboard sign up link. Tell us what you think. V2, we'll throw that link below as well. We'll make sure the team's on that. All right, Stu, where do you want to begin? Packed show today.
It is. Let's go swooping around the world down to Venezuela. This one reeks of potential hey, where's my crayon? Venezuela looks to pay down $20 billion in U.S. debt with oil exports. Why is there an estimated $6 billion price difference? There's a B there. Refresh your screen. So when you take a look at this, Michael, why are we allowing Venezuela to use oil in trade? Okay, now the way I took a look at this, parting with 200,000 barrels barrels per day of its crude that generates much needed revenues, but they're gonna give it to the United States in lieu of doing that. And I started doing my crayon. There's $6 billion difference between what they would sell it to us for, supposedly. And, where is that price difference? I'm going to put a spreadsheet in here for the folks that'll be on here. When you start having 20 billion and then the 14 billion is what Venezuela is really going to get credit for, what is that 6 billion difference going to do, Michael? That seems a little odd to me.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to see this crayon and this napkin that you're using. So you're gonna need, this is like the missing 13 minutes on the Nixon files. Like where's the missing napkin? Where is it? I'm gonna need your crayon math on that one.
I can't
trust.
All
I know is this. Right now, there's 200,000 under this newly proposal, 200,000 barrels of crude oil per day that's being diverted to China would currently be diverted basically cost-free to the United States. Basically
Yes.
what it would be doing is it would generate revenues that would immediately go back into paying off the values. You got to remember, Citgo, which is Venezuela's most prized possession, sits within the United States, so it's already been seized. So now all of a sudden, there's not much else to do other than go get some free oil. This proposal still requires sign off from the Maduro regime. You also have to remember, guys, in January, Washington went ahead and signed off on a license that would allow Chevron to ship 134,000 barrels per day of Venezuelan crude up to the United States coast. Venezuela is currently exporting about 715,000 barrels of oil per day and refined products. So remember, they do some refineries down there. That's up over the last year.
Okay, here's a squirrel for you in the hamster wheel. Okay, if we sit back and take a look, there also is Biden has kicked out more SPR releases. I'm trying to get information on that as well too. So we're also lowering our strategic oil reserves while this kind of crap is going on. What's going on?
Yeah, I mean, again, produce that napkin and we'll cover the math. And we'll save that one next. All right, let's move to David Blackmon.
Okay, yeah, but you're my crayon analyzer, and I'll have that done for everybody. I love David Blackmon. David Blackmon's one of the coolest guys out there. David Blackmon,
the original random guy on Substack.
He is. Not only is he's got the energy absurdity of the day. I was actually on the energy absurdity of the day, and I've got that going for me on my deathbed. David Blackmon, this article is a backlash against net zero policies is finally beginning to take shape. This is, there's a little bit to this. When you sit back, first past week has been a very interesting one, to say the least, as the media has suddenly filled with story after story documenting a rising backlash against net zero policies in the world. Austria's National Energy and Climate Plan said Tuesday its climate targets for 2030 will not be reached. The new revised plan this week cuts the country's greenhouse gas reduction goals from 48% below 2005 to 35%. This is really an excellent article because this is teeing up COP28. There is a huge backlash between the ESG investing. We've had some of those articles on Newsbeat about even Larry Fink of BlackRock bailing out of ESG, the ESG investing hypocrisy. Now we're seeing a whole global trend from some random guy on Substack, as you love to say, Michael, and that is David Blackmon. He's one of the guys I trust.
Yeah, but what's interesting is this article actually comes from the Daily Caller. So he's this isn't, he's no random guy on Substack.
No, he's a Forbes contributing author and a Daily Caller, and he's also on the Three Podcasters Walk Into a Bar, and he's on another podcast. But we got to do
the Energy Question, courtesy of Sandstone Media, world's greatest media platform.
Okay,
and that's a plug right there.
Oh yeah, that's a shameless plug, but we'll take it. All right, hey, let's go to the next one, dude. New Iceland tech shakes up global geothermal energy. We got a couple energy tech stories here. We're off to Iceland, and while Iceland is fortunate that it has all three required characteristics for accessible geothermal energy, the Icelandic model of geothermal is not merely due to natural, it's due to technology. This article refers to also Japan. In Japan, they've got, you always see the monkeys sitting in the hot tubs, over there in Japan. The problem is 80% of their geothermal lands are in national reserves. And so they only have 20% in China. So when we take a look at what's going on different, it's creating positive feedback loops where geology activity components the strengths and weakness of other green power sources instead of only generating electricity for consumption. So it is a force multiplier, as this article says. I kind of like it from that aspect.
Yeah, I think here's the thing. I think it's great for Iceland. The problem is, can you take this same Icelandic model and scale it up for the United States? Probably not.
Yeah, in Yellowstone, but then again, the caldera is going to blow up next week, as everybody's saying. So, yeah, let's
I'm
go
good on
ahead.
poking things into the caldera. I'm probably good on that.
Yeah, but you'll blow up all the whales. So anyway,
True. Then me and the green people would finally have our way. Then me and Greenpeace would finally have our way.
the new and updated Greenpeace.
Yes, the one that's
Okay.
funded by Russian oil.
Oh yeah, but the new technology, I think, is also being brought up into Chevron and BP, and we've been talking about Exxon going through the geothermal. I'm thrilled to try any of this stuff and really notch it up. I'm all for geothermal. So
No, because it is what the Icelandic model is showing, and I think what this article is of saying is that geothermal is a great base load power source that can be used to back up and ensure all your other energy sources, the mix of your energy, you have a strong base load mix.
Yeah, it provide everybody's thing? No. Will solar do it? No. Will wind? No. Will nuclear? It could, but when you talk about
SMRs, baby,
SMRs, baby, you need all energy. Okay, let's move.
Let's hear about Toyota's solid state batteries.
It's pretty cool. There's a little nugget that is not in the article. Toyota's solid state battery breakthrough will reduce costs and size by 50%. This is really huge. You and I have laughed about, we've talked about EVs for a lot, and they pollute. People just think that they're clean. Here's the key difference. The largest automaker in the world said by using its new solid state battery architecture, it can produce batteries with a range of 745 miles. That's 1,200 kilometers for our international listeners, which can be fast charged in about 10 minutes. That is cool. Now, when you take a look, you didn't own a Prius, do you?
No.
Those were hideous. Okay. So when you take a look at the technology right now, we have kids in the Congo being forced into slave labor in order to do the lithium ion batteries. Then when one goes on starts burning, all the fire departments leave, and then everybody gets their marshmallows out and just expect that thing to go for several days. Hey, this is a great idea. Why don't we burn Teslas for power sources? They could heat all the water. What do you think?
There you go, geothermal by burning Teslas. Let's pitch that to Elon.
No, that was horrible. Okay. So here's where the little nugget is in here. Toyota and Tesla are signing deals last week.
Well, of course. I mean, this is what's going to happen in the EV industry. Everyone's going to share technology. Certain companies will have all the batteries, right. Certain companies will have the software, certain companies will manufacture, maybe Tesla continues to do all of it. But if what this article is saying is true, this switch from, the liquid polymer gels that basically to these solid state, right. Solid electrodes and electrolytes, which sounds funny because we think of electrolytes as a Gatorade, but if what they're saying is true, this solid state, that's great. You're talking, 10-minute battery. I love how they say, and a fast charge in about 10 minutes. That's still a lot. That's still a while. 10 minutes sitting at a gas station? You know how long? You're talking, that's 3 cars in a half hour. That's not that quick.
No, but it sure beats the 3 hours that people are having to do right now.
I like the 2 minutes it takes my gas truck to fill up, though.
Oh, yeah. Here's the other piece of this puzzle, though. When you sit back and take a look, Tesla signed a deal with Ford. Ford is going to be using the Tesla plugs. So your point is phenomenal, Michael. So that when you start looking at companies that allow market, open up their technology for other manufacturers to use, are the winners.
Yep, absolutely.
I think it's fantastic. So anyway, I was pretty darn excited about this one.
All right, last one. What's going on with that Pemex platform?
Okay, let's take a look here. At least 2 dead in the oil platform fire in the Gulf of Mexico. They did get the fire out.
Good.
And emergency crews, in the story here, 321 workers out of the 328 who were working on the structure when the fire started have already been evacuated. That's as of yesterday morning. So they're all off. The fire's out. And the video is here in Spanish. So I was trying to watch it 16 times.
I saw a little bit of it. They're gonna have to shut in about 700,000 barrels of oil because of that, which is going to do a little bit of a pop here as the markets open up. It's about 2:30 here on Sunday, here on the 9th. So
do you think it'll even matter? Because we've had tankers hijacked that years ago would have devastated the thing.
Maybe a bump. You might see a small bump. I mean, we're already dealing with supply concerns. I'm just saying it's about 700,000 barrels a day. So it's not that hard. It's not that small.
No, it's not that small, but also, the market seems to be fairly impervious to some of these things.
Yeah, no kidding. I
Our
don't know why
hearts and
Pemex has a long record of it. I love how this article says Pemex, which has a long record of major industrial accidents.
We'll continue to report on control, extinction of the fire and damage assessments. Yeah, rut-row.
So,
but Michael, this goes back to, why is the current administration declaring war on the U.S. oil and gas when we're the cleanest on the planet?
Oh, it's almost like we've never talked about that. No, it's I'm being I only say it's true. I mean, this is you want no domestic oil and gas production. Sweet, Pemex is in charge now. It's true.
Yeah. Anyway, that's it for me. We're going to have a crazy week. I've got a bunch of stories coming around. I got my sources on COP28. They are announcing some real struggle points getting ready for this thing. And part of the problems, Michael, is like we just talked about, the ESG investing side, coupled with Sweden and Spain have bailed out, and they have changed their energy policies. Mm-hmm. People cannot afford to print money. So I got a lot coming around the corner, dude.
No, you've got a lot coming around the corner. I'll quickly just cover what happened last week in oil prices. We were up 3% a week over week, up to a 9-week high, really based off those supply concerns. We closed the day. Brent closed at 78.47. WTI settled at 73.86. We'll open somewhere in the 73.60 range here in about 2 hours. And one quote from Phil Flynn of Price Futures Group: "We're knocking on the door again of a major breakout to the upside." I think you're seeing some short-term covering here today because a lot of people have been betting the short side. So interesting. We think we have a little rally coming. Again, you have to remember that Saudi Arabia decided to have keep its 1 million barrel crude oil lollipop in demand, which is intact for August, which is basically a fresh cut. And Russia came in along with the UAE and decided to cut a little bit. So that's going to again keep things up. We also did see Equinor paused a little bit of their oil production in the North Sea due to staff shortages. So we gotta love that. After dollar, we'd also see the dollar falling to a 2-week low last week. Mainly based on the fact that they think the U.S. Federal Reserve is going to continue to raise rates. It's pretty funny. You watch CNBC each morning, and it's depressing because new numbers come out and they're good numbers, good jobs numbers. Everyone's depressed because now that means the Fed's going to raise rates. I'm convinced the Fed needs new tools to fight inflation because they can't be saying, "Oh, yay, everyone's employed. Let's raise rates and put them out of," what I mean? That there's a misalignment of incentives there, I think.
The Fed cannot and does not have the tools. They got us here. They do not have the tools to fix it.
They don't. They really don't.
My opinion is you got to fix the energy policies. You're just going, "Oh, shut up, Stuart."
Well, on a positive note, we did see 6 rigs get added week over week. Baker Hughes dropped that on Friday. Current rig count stands at 680. We did see 2 natural gas rigs come off and 8 onshore rigs. So, hey, at least we've got that going for us. What should people be worried about this week, Stu? What's on your radar? You said COP28. When is that, by the way? When is COP28?
Sometime in November, but they're having a meeting.
Spooky.
But there's meetings coming up right now trying to get ready for it. And they've got some puckerage going on. And that's not a good thing for them.
Yeah. No, it's not a good thing for them at all. I don't think there's anything else in the oil and gas news front to worry about, guys. We're gearing up for earnings, so I don't think you're going to see too many M&A deals around the corner. I do think you're going to see here probably after that Q2 earnings call. I think you're going to see that M&A action pick up fairly quickly. But with that, guys, we're going to let you get out of here. Start your Monday. We appreciate you guys checking us out. EnergyNewsBeat.com for Stuart Turley. I'm Michael Tanner. We'll see you tomorrow, folks.
Subscribe, like.
Smash that like button.